Welcome to Sportpen. Today we're diving deep into the captivating saga of David Beckham.
Yeah, definitely more than just a footballer.
Right. He became this huge global icon. We're going to explore those defining moments, that relentless drive and the sheer artistry that made him such a legend. We're not just listing facts here. We want to unpack what true greatness really looks like.
Exactly. And how some athletes just sort of rewrite the story of their sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Beckham's career, it's not just goals and trophies, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's really a study in ambition, how he adapted,
Yeah.
and the sheer power of his personal brand.
Yeah.
It gives us some fascinating clues, I think, about what it takes to really leave a lasting mark.
Okay, let's rewind. Back to his early days. Picture this. Young Beckham in London. Friday night for most kids. Hanging out.
Right.
For him, it was all about prepping for Sunday's match. That kind of dedication, sacrificing the social life, that tells you something straight away, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That early, almost like singular focus.
Yeah.
It speaks to this really powerful internal drive.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a hobby for him. It was, deep-seated ambition. That kind of motivation is often the bedrock for, exceptional achievement.
And that ambition gets him snapped up by Manchester United. He's only 14.
Incredible.
There was even talk, wasn't there, about them sort of pipping Spurs to the signing?
Yeah, I remember reading that. Manchester United swiping him from under Spurs' boots.
Even back then, clubs saw something special. What do you think stood out so early on?
Well, clubs at that level, their scouting is incredibly sophisticated. For a young player to be identified, let alone fought over,
Yeah.
it's just that rare mix, natural talent, technical skill, maybe even the certain mental toughness they could see.
Then comes Fergie's fledglings.
Yes.
That amazing group.
Yeah.
Diggs, Butt, the Nevilles, Scholes, and Beckham. All nurtured under Sir Alex Ferguson. It feels like lightning in a bottle, really.
It does. Ferguson was just a master at creating that environment, wasn't he? Where young talent could actually thrive, not just survive. He instilled this really demanding culture, but also a strong sense of collective purpose. Beckham developing within that intense place. That was transformative.
His senior debut, 92, League Cup tie against Brighton.
Yeah.
Not exactly the glamorous start you might imagine for a future superstar.
No. But it's a classic reminder, isn't it? Even the most extraordinary careers often start with, pretty ordinary moments. That first taste of senior football, doesn't matter the stage, it's crucial.
And Ferguson's influence on him personally, it was immense, right?
Oh, huge.
That focus on discipline, teamwork, constantly pushing for more, you can see how that shaped Beckham's own leadership later.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ferguson wasn't just a manager. He was like a builder of men. He instilled these core values that went way beyond the pitch. That mentorship gave Beckham a framework, really. Invaluable.
And it's striking, isn't it, after that infamous red card in '98 World Cup? A moment that could have broken someone.
Oh, the backlash was intense.
But Manchester United, Ferguson, they stood right by him. That kind of support, facing that public criticism, must have been a lifeline. Why do you think they had such faith?
Well, I think it speaks to their long-term vision. They believed in his fundamental character, his potential. They probably saw it as, a mistake under pressure, not a reflection of his whole commitment. Plus, it shows how important a supportive club structure is.
Okay, let's shift to his playing style. Early on, everyone talked about that crossing ability.
Oh, yeah. The whip, the accuracy.
And striking a dead ball, it was uncanny, became his signature almost instantly. What made his technique so special, do you think?
It wasn't just power, though he had that. It was the precision, like an incredible understanding of trajectory, spin. He could bend the ball in ways few others could. And that came from, countless hours of practice. Pure dedication.
But beyond those headline skills, he had a really underrated passing range, didn't he?
He did.
Tireless running and that tactical intelligence. Sometimes drifting into central midfield, he wasn't just stuck out on the wing.
Exactly. That versatility, it added another dimension.
Yeah.
Showed he could adapt, contribute in different ways, made him more complete than maybe he got credit for sometimes.
And being voted, number 2 player in the world? In '99 and 2001.
Yeah, twice.
That's not just hype. That's real recognition at the highest level. Shows his consistency.
Absolutely. Those accolades from peers, coaches, that's the ultimate validation, isn't it? Confirmed his impact was real, recognized by people who truly understand the game.
Okay, now, here's where it gets even more fascinating, maybe. the arrival of Victoria
Ah,
Adams.
posh spice.
Ferguson himself said it caused a massive shift. And let's be honest, it supercharged his profile, his commercial appeal.
Oh, undeniably.
Forget the matching leather outfits for a second. They became this global obsession. How much impact did that relationship actually have on his path?
I mean, it's undeniable it propelled him into a completely different stratosphere of fame. It tapped into this broader cultural interest, way beyond just football. It amplified his brand globally. It was a cultural phenomenon, really.
And all this is happening while he's crucial to Manchester United winning the treble in 98-99.
Incredible timing.
Imagine weathering that storm of criticism after the World Cup and then hitting the absolute peak of club football. The mental toughness.
Wow. That season was just a testament to his fortitude. Facing that scrutiny, still performing at the highest level, playing a key role in history. It speaks volumes. Resilience, determination.
Then England captaincy, year 2000.
On this day, actually.
He's 25, suddenly one of the senior guys in a young squad. Felt like a real turning point, didn't it? New responsibility.
It did. And even at 25, he had this certain gravitas, an undeniable work ethic his teammates respected.
Yeah.
He led by example. And his passion for England was always just obvious.
He often talked about that pride, wearing the shirt, being part of that line of great players. You really felt that sense of duty from him.
Yeah. That deep connection to representing your country, it's a powerful motivator. For Beckham, clearly a huge source of pride, responsibility. It fueled him.
And who could ever forget that free kick? Against Greece, 2001.
Old Trafford. Last minute, unbelievable.
Single-handedly dragging England to the World Cup. People said he was the only player who truly got what was at stake that day. Felt like pure heroism.
That moment, it was more than just a goal, wasn't it? It was a symbol of his determination, his ability to deliver under the absolute highest pressure.
Yeah.
Cemented his status, national icon, the guy who could change everything on his own.
Okay, fast forward. 2003, Real Madrid. The Galacticos.
Wow. Yeah.
Suddenly, he's alongside Zidane, Ronaldo, Figo. Just this constellation of stars. What did that move represent for him?
That transfer was a clear statement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of his global status, his ambition. Real Madrid's whole project was about assembling the biggest names, and Beckham being included just underlined his place among the absolute elite.
And he didn't just play, did he? He became a global ambassador for them. Solidified that worldwide icon status even more. His influence just kept growing.
Yeah, his appeal went way beyond the hardcore fans. He became this instantly recognizable face, a symbol of the club's global reach, invaluable on and off the pitch.
Then the move that surprised a few people, maybe? LA Galaxy, 2007.
Definitely raised eyebrows at the time.
But it really put Major League Soccer on the map in the U.S., didn't it? What was the significance there?
That was a bold move. Strategically important. It brought this level of international attention, credibility to MLS that it just hadn't had before.
Right.
Showed he understood the global game, willing to be a pioneer in a new market.
Which brings us neatly to Brand Beckham.
The empire.
It's way beyond football now. Endorsements, Adidas, Tudor, Maserati, documentaries on Netflix, Disney Plus app, fashion lines. It's a proper, multifaceted empire. How did he manage that transition so well?
I think he, or maybe his team, understood the power of his image very early on and carefully cultivated it. The endorsements were strategic, aligned with the brand, ventures into fashion, media. It just broadened his appeal, created multiple revenue streams, very savvy.
He was even called a metrosexual trendsetter back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, remember the sarong, the hairstyles.
Exactly, challenging traditional ideas of masculinity and fashion. It's fascinating how he influenced style just as much as sport.
His impact on fashion was undeniable. He wasn't afraid to experiment, and that resonated.
Yeah.
The H&M bodywear launch later on, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Using his image to build successful commercial ventures.
And his leadership style, often described as inspirational, right? Energizing teammates, fans through sheer passion, hard work.
Leading by example.
Motivating through action. That's powerful.
Yeah, authentic leadership, rooted in genuine passion,
Yeah.
commitment. It's incredibly effective. His dedication on the pitch, it was infectious. It naturally motivated people around him.
We mentioned the 98 red card, but his career wasn't all smooth sailing.
No career is.
But his resilience, that ability to bounce back, deliver strong performances again and again, it seems like such a crucial part of his success story.
Absolutely. The ability to overcome setbacks is, well, it's a hallmark of high achievers. Beckham's capacity to learn from mistakes, use criticism as fuel, vital for his longevity and success.
Let's look towards the end of his playing days. PSG, often coming on as a sub, seeing out games.
Yeah, a different role.
But even then, there was that tactical awareness, wasn't there? That way of controlling midfield.
Exactly. Even as, his physical peak faded, his experience, his football intelligence, still valuable assets. That disciplined role against Barcelona in the Champions League showed his adaptability, still contributing.
And that emotional farewell, leaving the field in tears in Paris 2013.
Yeah, that was quite a moment.
Really underlined his deep love for the game, didn't it? Right to the very end.
It really did. A poignant moment. Highlighted the deep emotional investment he had in his career, in the sport. Marked the end of an era.
And now he's transitioned again. Businessman, owner, Inter Miami CF and MLS. Aiming to shape football's future in America. It's almost come full circle, hasn't it?
It feels like a natural evolution for someone with his passion, his profile. Ownership's a new challenge, obviously, but it lets him keep contributing to the sport he loves.
It hasn't been entirely smooth sailing with Inter Miami, though, has it?
No, there have been struggles on the pitch, definitely.
And criticisms, too. Suggestions that maybe some decisions are more about the Beckham brand than pure football strategy. How do you navigate that? It's a delicate balance.
It is. Balancing the commercial side, especially with such a high-profile owner, against the need to build a successful football club. It's a constant challenge. Needs careful decision-making, clear vision for both sides.
But even with those challenges, his presence alone must have a huge impact on the club strategy, the big commercial deals.
Oh, undoubtedly. The Beckham name still carries massive weight.
Yeah.
His involvement brings a level of visibility, marketability, incredibly valuable for a growing club in MLS. His influence goes way beyond just the pitch itself.
So when we try to define greatness in football, Beckham, clearly exceptional crossing, those iconic free kicks, incredible work rate.
The tick-tick.
But opinions differ on where he ranks among the absolute all-time greats. Some feel his actual right-wing play gets overlooked. Others suggest maybe the fame, the image, the marriage boosted his standing. It's complex, isn't it?
It is. Assessing greatness is always subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
His technical skills, his impact on games, undeniable. But comparing across eras, positions, it's inherently difficult. His global appeal certainly broadened his recognition, his influence, far beyond most players.
But that impact on global football culture itself, surely that counts for something huge, making the sport more accessible, more appealing worldwide.
Oh, absolutely. That's a significant part of his legacy. His influence transcended the traditional football world. He brought new fans, new commercial opportunities to the sport globally. He became a cultural icon through football. That's greatness in itself, in a way.
And his career, it really does feel like a blueprint for aspiring athletes, doesn't it?
In many ways, yes.
Hone your skills relentlessly, dedicate yourself completely, stay professional, and cultivate that growth mindset.
Yeah, always striving to improve, learning from setbacks, like that '98 World Cup fallout. That resilience seems absolutely key.
His journey really embodies the power of perseverance, doesn't it? That ability to learn, withstand criticism, keep pushing, essential for anyone aiming high.
Definitely. And it's interesting, too, thinking about his ability to inspire teammates.
Yeah.
Like a leader in any field, really.
Yeah.
That teamwork, communication, strategic thinking skills you hone in sport that are just so transferable.
So David Beckham's journey, it's just a compelling illustration, isn't it? Talent, yes, but relentless hard work, that resilient spirit, forging a legacy that goes way beyond just sport. His impact on football, fashion, pop culture, you still feel it. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what aspects of his story really stand out to you as markers of greatness in this modern sporting world?
For me, I think it's that unique combination. He had exceptional, diligently crafted skill on the pitch, but also this almost unparalleled ability to build and leverage a global brand.
Right.
He understood the power of his image, maybe intuitively at first, then very strategically, and he used it to elevate not just himself, but the sport itself in new significant ways. That feels like a very modern, very impactful form of greatness.
A fascinating journey to unpack. Thanks for listening to Sportpen.